So, good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about end wall circuit. So, used for operating or controlling a double acting cylinder. So, here uh, two valves are actually used for controlling the double acting cylinder. So first and second valves, that is first and second valves, both the valves are used for controlling the operation of double acting cylinder. So therefore it is called as end valve circuit. So here first valve will be used for performing forward stroke of the piston, and second valve will be used for performing return stroke of the piston. So both the valves, first and second valves, are used for controlling the operation of a double acting cylinder. So therefore, they are referred to as end valve circuits. So we will note down the arrangement of this circuit, and also we will note down the construction and working of this circuit. So friends, here we can see end valve circuit, that is circuit diagram with operated with the help of two solenoid valves. So this is the first solenoid valve. So placed in this position, that is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston. And this is the second solenoid valve. It is placed in this position for performing the return stroke of the piston. So here two valves are required. Two valves are used, first and second valves. Both the valves are used ultimately for controlling the operation of a double acting cylinder. So therefore it is called as end valve circuit. Now friends, here we can see the arrangement of a double acting cylinder. So here the fluid will be acting on both the sides of the piston. So therefore it is called as a double acting cylinder. That means if fluid is entering from the left hand side of the piston, it will be leaving from the right hand side of the piston. So that is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston. And secondly, if fluid is entering from the right hand side of the piston, it will be leaving from the left hand side of the piston. So ultimately this is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So as a whole, the fluid will be acting on both the sides of the piston. That means it is entering from one side of the piston, it will be leaving from another side of the piston. So as a whole, the fluid will be acting on both the sides of the piston. So therefore, it is referred to as a double acting cylinder. Now this cylinder here, it is placed as shown in the figure. This cylinder is placed in horizontal position, and a piston is arranged inside the cylinder. So you can see the arrangement of the piston. And finally, the piston is fitted to a piston rod, also shown in the diagram. And finally, the piston rod is fitted to the tool of the machine. So with this arrangement, this cylinder can be used for operating the tool of a machine in to and fro directions. That is in forward and backward directions. And sometimes the piston is directly fitted to a connecting rod mechanism. So by doing so, this cylinder can be operated, can be used for rotating the spindle in clockwise direction. That means the connecting rod will be converting the reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the spindle. So therefore, with the help of a connecting rod mechanism, this cylinder can be also used for rotating the spindle of a machine in clockwise direction. So friends, these are the applications of these cylinders. The cylinders on one hand can be used for moving tools of the machine in forward and backward directions. And secondly, with the help of connecting rod mechanism, these cylinders can be also used for rotating spindles of various machines. So this is the general arrangement of a double acting cylinder. So fluid will be acting on both the sides of the piston. So therefore, it is called as a double acting cylinder. Now, one passage is made on left hand side of the piston, that is called as first port of the cylinder, and one more passage is made on the right hand side of the piston, that is called as second port of the cylinder. Now, if the fluid is entering from the first port of the cylinder, it will be leaving from the second port of the cylinder, that is used for moving the piston in forward direction. Secondly, if the fluid is entering from the second port of the cylinder, it will be leaving from the first port of the cylinder, and this is used for moving the piston in reverse direction. So friends, fluid pressure is used for moving the piston in forward direction, and also fluid pressure is also used for moving the piston in reverse direction. So therefore, two ports are very, very essential on both the sides of the piston, and this is called as the first port of the cylinder, and this is referred to as the second port of the cylinder. So this is the, general arrangement of a double acting cylinder. Now here two DC valves as shown in the figure. Two DC valves are used for controlling the operation of a double acting cylinder. So firstly, the first valve is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston, and second valve is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So both the valves are essential for operating the cylinder. So therefore, it is called as end valve circuit. Now coming to the arrangement of the valve, these are the symbols. Shown for these valves. So generally, a plunger will be arranged inside the body of the valve, and it is fitted to a return spring at the bottom of the plunger. And finally, as shown in the figure, this solenoid will be used for operating the plunger in forward and backward directions. Now, the solenoids shown in the figure, they are referred to as pull type solenoids. Now, as the name itself implies, if you switch on the solenoid, it will be pulling the plunger in reverse direction. So therefore, the valve will be coming to first position. And if you put off the solenoid, it will be releasing force on the plunger. So therefore, the plunger moves in forward direction, and the valve will be coming to second position. So friends, the on position of a solenoid is used for putting the valve in first position. The off position of a solenoid is used for putting the valve in second position. So that means if you switch on the solenoid, it's a pull type of solenoid. So if you switch on the solenoid, so it will be moving the plunger in reverse direction, and the valve will be coming to first position. And if you put off the solenoid, it will be releasing force on the plunger. So plunger moves in forward direction, and the valve will be coming to second position. So friends, here solenoid is used for operating the element that is arranged inside the valve. So therefore, they are referred to as solenoid valves. So one solenoid for operating the element of the, or for operating the plunger of the first DC valve, and another solenoid for operating the element or the plunger of the second DC valve. So friends, these are the elements to be used for operating a solenoid. So a plunger has to be arranged inside the valve that is loaded with a return spring. And finally, a solenoid has to be used for operating the plunger in to and fro directions. So if the plunger moves in reverse direction, valve will be coming to first position, and if the plunger moves in forward direction, in this arrangement, valve will be coming to second position. So friends, this is the arrangement of elements, and also the arrangement of solenoids used for operating the elements of both these valves. So friends, the construction and working of both these valves is one and the same. So both the valves will be having a solenoid, will be provided with a plunger and a return spring. So this valve is provided with a solenoid and a plunger and a return spring. Similarly, this valve is also provided with a solenoid, plunger and a return spring. So friends, both these valves, construction of both these valves, construction and working of both these valves is one and the same. The only thing is, first valve is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston, and second valve is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. And finally, here we can see the passages made inside the body of the valve. So they are called as valve ports. So both the valves are provided with one inlet port and one outlet port, and finally one exhaust port. So each valve, both these valves will be having one inlet port, one outlet port, and one exhaust port. So totally both these valves are having three ports. So therefore they are referred to as three-way valves. And the solenoid is used for operating these valves. So that's why they are referred to as three-way solenoid valves. So friends, this is the arrangement of valves used for controlling the action of this double acting cylinder. And secondly, the inlet port of the DC valve is fitted to the pipeline that is coming from the compressor or the supply source, and the outlet of this valve is fitted to the pipeline that is entering the first port of the cylinder, and the exhaust port is connected to the pipeline that is entering into the atmosphere, or which is entering into the reservoir. So this is the passage through which fluid is entering the valve, that is from the supply source. Therefore, it's called as inlet port. And this is the passage through which the fluid is supplied into the cylinder. That's why it's called as outlet port. And this is the passage through which the fluid will be discharged away from the circuit or from the system. Therefore, it is referred to as exhaust port. So friends, this valve is provided with one inlet, one outlet, and one exhaust. So totally it is having, three ports. So therefore, it is referred to as a three-way DC valve. And solenoid is used for controlling the valve operation. So therefore, they are referred to as three-way, solenoid valves. And coming to valve positions, when the valve is in first position, inlet will be in contact with the outlet and the exhaust port will remain in closed position. So this is called as first position of the DC valve. So therefore, when the valve is in first position, it will be sending the required quantity of fluid into the, double acting cylinder. And similarly, when the valve comes to second position, the outlet will be in contact with the exhaust port and inlet will be coming to closed position. So therefore, the valve will be receiving the entire quantity of fluid that is coming out of the cylinder. So friends, in any circuit, in any situation, the first position of the valve is used for supplying fluid into the cylinder, and second position of the valve will be used for receiving the quantity of liquid that is coming out of the cylinder. So this is the information so far as valve positions are concerned. So I repeat once again, when the valve is in first position, inlet will be in contact with the outlet and fluid is delivered into the cylinder. And when the valve is in second position, outlet will be in contact with the exhaust and therefore the fluid will be discharged into the atmosphere or it will be discharged away from the circuit. So these are the, generally, two positions of these valves. Therefore, they are called as, two position valves. So first position for sending the fluid and second position for receiving the fluid from the cylinder. So totally it is provided with two positions. Therefore, they are referred to as a two-way valves. So valve is having three ports. Therefore, it is called as a three-way valve. And it is having two positions. It is called as a two-position valve. So both these factors put together, it is called as a three-way two-position valve. So friends, this way we have to realize the meaning of these terms. And these valves are provided with three ports and two positions. So therefore, they are referred to as three-way two-position valves. Simply, they are referred to as 3x2 valves. And similarly, same arrangement is made in the case of second DC valve also. So here also we can identify the three ports. This is the inlet port of the second this DC valve. And here we have the outlet of the DC valve, and this is the exhaust of the DC valve. And if this valve is in first position, inlet will be in contact with the outlet. So therefore, fluid will be entering from the right hand side of the piston. And if this is in second position, outlet will be in contact with the exhaust. So therefore, fluid coming from the right hand side of the piston is finally discharged into the atmosphere. So friends, the construction and the working of both these walls are one and the same, and both the walls are provided with equal number of boards and equal number of positions. The first position used for sending fluid into the cylinder, and the second position used for receiving fluid that is coming out of the cylinder. So friends, this is the wonderful, arrangement made for operating a double acting cylinder. Now coming to the circuit operation, it is divided into two phases. So in the first phase of operation, the first valve will be kept in first position, and the second valve will be kept in second position. So therefore, friends, fluid will be entering from left hand side of the piston, and it will be leaving from the right hand side of the piston. So therefore, this is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston. And friends, in the second phase of operation, the second valve is brought to first position, and the first valve is brought to second position. So therefore, the fluid will be entering from the right hand side of the piston, and it will be leaving from the left hand side of the piston. So this is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So therefore, this is called as one cycle of operation, and these operations, these cycles of operations will continue repeatedly as long as the circuit is in operating condition. So friends, for moving the piston in forward direction, this has to be, first valve has to be kept in first position, and second valve has to be kept in second position. Secondly, for moving the piston in a reverse direction, second valve must be brought to first position, and first valve must be kept in second position. So with this, arrangements, very easily we can operate the piston in to and fro directions. Very easily we can perform the forward and return strokes of the piston, so long as the circuit is in operating conditions. And friends, coming to this solenoids, automatically these solenoids will be coming to on and off position. So if the first solenoid is in on position, the second solenoid will be in off position, and that is used for forward stroke of the piston. And if the second solenoid is in on position, and first solenoid will be coming to off position, that is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So friends, this is the diagram which indicates the arrangement of end valve circuit, utilizing solenoids for valve operations. So you see the heading, this is the circuit diagram used for explaining the end valve circuit provided with solenoid valves. So friends, this is the, one of the arrangements, used for operating end valve circuits. So friends, we are actually very much thorough with the end valve circuit, and we have discussed about all the details of end valve circuit. And here we come across, another arrangement of end valve circuit using push button valves. So we can see the arrangement of push button valves, and just like the previous diagram, so these valves are connected to this double acting cylinder. So first valve connected to the left hand side of the piston, just like the previous circuit. First valve is connected to the left hand side of the piston, and second DC valve, it is connected to the right hand side of the piston. So just like the previous circuit, the first DC valve is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston, and the second valve is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. And friends, in the previous case, the cylinder is arranged in horizontal position. They are referred to as horizontal cylinders. And in this case, in this circuit, the cylinder is arranged in vertical position. Therefore, they are referred to as vertical cylinders. Now, friends, in the case of vertical cylinders, if the piston rod is placed, arranged in the bottom portion of the cylinder, that can be used for performing press working operations. And if the cylinder is placed in upside down position, the piston rod will be coming to the top portion of the cylinder, and that arrangement can be used for moving loads in forward and backward directions. In other words, the second arrangement can be used for raising and lowering loads of different magnitudes for suitable levels or convenient levels. So friends, generally, horizontal cylinders shown in the first diagram are useful for operating the tools and spindles of machines. The vertical cylinders generally are used for performing lifting operations and also for performing press working operations. So friends, the cylinder shown in the first diagram held in horizontal position called as horizontal cylinders used for tools and spindles of machines. And the cylinder shown in this diagram held in vertical position, so used for performing lifting and pressing operations, also referred to as press working operations. Now, friends, these pipelines, these ports are shown in these regions. But first port can be shown at this. It has to be shown actually at the bottom of the cylinder, and the second port also to be shown at the bottom of the cylinder. And just like the previous arrangement, first port will be placed on the left hand side of the piston, and second port to be placed on the right hand side of the piston. So friends, with this arrangement, first valve can be used for sending fluid from the left-hand side of the piston. That can be used for performing forward stroke piston. And second valve will be used can be used for sending fluid from the right-hand side of the piston. That is used for moving the piston in reverse direction. So friends, just like previous circuit, the first valve is used for performing forward stroke of the piston, and the second DC valve is used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So in this particular case also, two valves are used, two DC valves, first valve and second valve, first valve as well as the second valve. So both the valves are used for controlling the double acting cylinder. So therefore, this is also called as end valve circuit. So finally, in the first diagram, solenoids are used for operating valve elements. Therefore, they are called as solenoid valves. And here, push buttons are arranged for operating valve buttons. So, sorry, valve elements. So, therefore, they are referred to as push button valves. So, that is one of the differences. And secondly, in the first diagram, the cylinder is arranged in horizontal position. And here, in this second diagram, the cylinder is arranged in vertical position. So, friends, with this arrangement, end circuit can be used for controlling vertical double acting cylinders or for controlling double acting cylinders arranged in vertical position. And that diagram, that circuit, the previous circuit can be used for controlling the operation of double acting cylinders arranged in horizontal positions. So this arrangement for operating vertical double acting cylinders and that arrangement suitable for operating horizontal double acting cylinders. And in this case, push buttons are used for operating valve elements. That's why they're called as push button valves. And in the previous case, solenoids are arranged for operating valve elements. Therefore, they are referred to as solenoid valves. And friends, finally, we can see the element of the valve. So we can see the arrangement of the plunger. So arranged in both the valves. This is fitted to a return spring. So therefore, they are referred to as spring-loaded plungers. And as I've already told you, a push button is placed on the top portions of these valves for moving the plunger in downward and upward directions. Now, friends, when the push button moves in this direction, if the push button is coming into action, the plunger moves in downward direction and the valve will be coming to first position. And if the spring force is moving the plunger in upward direction, so the valve will be coming to second position. So friends, push button is used for putting the valve in first position, and spring force is used for putting the valve in second position. That means if the plunger, push button will be moving the plunger in downward direction, and the valve will be coming to first position, and spring force will be moving the plunger in upward direction, and valve will be coming to second position. So friends, this is about the arrangement of these valves, and we can identify the various ports of the valve. This is the inlet port of the DC valve, and here this is fitted to the pipeline coming from the supply. This outlet of the valve is fitted to the first port of the cylinder, and exhaust is fitted to the pipeline that is entering the atmosphere. So friends, similarly, this inlet of this valve is fitted to the pipeline coming from the supply source. Outlet is fitted to the pipeline that is entering the second port of the cylinder or right hand side of the piston. Similarly, the exhaust of this valve is also fitted to the pipeline. It is connected to the pipeline that is going into the atmosphere. So in both the construction and working and arrangement of both these valves are one and the same. And similarly, in the first position, inlet will be coming in contact with the outlet, and in the second position, outlet will be coming in contact with the exhaust port of the DC valve. And similarly, in this case, also in the first position, inlet will be coming in contact with the outlet, and in the second position, the outlet will be coming in contact with the exhaust port of the DC valve. So three ports, both the valves are provided with totally with three ports: one inlet port, one outlet port, and one exhaust port. So both the valves are having three ports, therefore they are referred to as three-way valves. And a push button is used for operating the valve element of both these valves. So that's why they are referred to as push button valves. So friends, this is the arrangement of end valve circuit, generally used for operating a double acting cylinder. Now finally, coming to the working of this arrangement, it is divided into two phases. So in the first phase of operation, so the first valve will be brought to first position, and the second valve will be brought to second position. So therefore, the fluid will be entering from left hand side of the piston, and it will be leaving from the right hand side of the piston. Therefore, the piston will be moving in forward direction. So therefore, this is used for performing the forward stroke of the piston. And finally, in the second phase of operation, the second valve is brought to first position, and the first valve is brought to second position. So therefore, fluid will be entering from the right hand side of the cylinder or right hand side of the piston, and it will be leaving from the left hand side of the cylinder. So therefore, the piston begins to move in reverse direction. This is called as a backward stroke of the piston. So friends, this is called as one cycle of operation. So these cycles will repeat, continuously so long as the circuit is under operating conditions. So friends, we have discussed about two types of end valve circuits. So in the first circuit, solenoids are used for controlling valves and valve elements. They are referred to as solenoid valves. And the cylinder is held, arranged in horizontal position. Therefore, they are referred to as horizontal cylinders. And friends, this is the second circuit. Now, in the case of second circuit, push buttons are used for controlling valves and valve elements. Therefore, they are called as push button valves. And here cylinder is arranged in vertical position. So therefore they are referred to as vertical double acting cylinders. So friends, this way the DC valves can be used, two DC valves can be used for performing for controlling the operation of vertical double acting cylinders. Also, they can be used for controlling the operation of horizontal double acting cylinders. And in both the cases, first valve is generally used for performing the forward stroke of the piston. Second valve for performing return stroke of the piston. So both the valves are required for completing the cycle of operation. So therefore, it is called as end valve circuit. So on one hand, we are using the first valve for forward stroke of the piston. Also on other hand, we are also using a second valve for performing the return stroke of the piston. So both the first and second valves are used for respectively used for performing forward and backward strokes of the piston. So therefore they are referred to as end valve circuits. So friends, we have talked about end valve circuits used for controlling vertical cylinders. And also we have talked about end valve circuits used for controlling horizontal cylinders. Also we have talked about push buttons. In this circuit we have talked about push buttons used for controlling valve elements. And in the previous circuit we have talked about solenoids used for controlling valve elements. So friends, this is about construction and arrangement and working of end valve circuits. So generally used for controlling double acting cylinders arranged in horizontal positions, and also double acting cylinders arranged in vertical positions. So friends, all this information is given in these slides. So we have discussed about all these factors. Two three-way DC valves for double acting cylinder. That's why it's called as end circuit. Push buttons for operating DC valves of the first figure. Solenoids, full type solenoids for operating DC valves, the second figure. First valve for performing forward stroke of the piston, and second valve for performing return stroke of the piston. Each valve provided with 3 ports, therefore they are called as three-way valves. And also we have talked about valve ports and connections. Inlet is fitted to the supply pipeline, and outlet is fitted to the cylinder port. So first system pipeline connecting first cylinder port, the exhaust is connected to the discharge pipe, and second valve inlet connected to the supply pipeline, outlet fitted to the second port of the cylinder, and the exhaust pipeline fitted to the atmosphere. So here these inlet exhaust arrangements are one and the same, but here outlet of the first valve is fitted to the first port of the cylinder, and the outlet of the second valve must be fitted to the second port of the cylinder. So friends, these are the arrangements to be made so far as connections are concerned. And we have talked about the valve elements. We have talked about the arrangement of plungers, return springs, push buttons, and the movements of push buttons. We have also talked about first and second positions of valves. So first position for performing forward stroke, and second position, the second set for performing the return stroke of the piston. So for forward stroke of the piston, first valve will be in first position, second valve will be in second position, and for second operation, first valve will be in second position, and second valve will be in first position. So these are the arrangements to be made so far as operation is concerned. So similarly, all these informations are given pertaining to first and second figures. And finally, we have talked about the valve positions also. So in the first position, inlet will be in contact with the outlet, and exhaust will be in closed position. And in the second position of the valve, outlet will be in contact with the exhaust, and inlet will be in closed position. And similarly, inlet ports, capital P is used for representing inlet ports, capital A for representing outlet ports, and capital R for representing the exhaust ports. So it's called as alphabetical representation. Sometimes numericals are used for indicating these ports. So number one for indicating inlet port, number 2 for indicating outlet port, and 3 is used for indicating exhaust ports. So generally, they are denoted with the help of alphabets. E for inlet port, A for outlet port, and R for exhaust port. So friends, these are the notations to be remembered while indicating the ports of a three-way DC valve, and these are shown in these figures. So P is used for indicating inlet port, A for indicating outlet port, and R for indicating exhaust port. Similarly, here also P for indicating inlet port, A for indicating outlet port, and R for indicating exhaust port. So friends, indication of these ports are very, very essential while explaining these circuits. So friends, thank you all for watching the session. Thank you very much.